Hey everyone, and welcome on back to Minecraft. My name is Whip, and today we are here in my single player survival world. And last time we came through here and built up all of these fantastic houses inside of our first ever Minecraft village of Papyrus. This is very much based around the Nile River atmosphere, paper, sugarcane, and all of the likes over here. And thank you so very much everybody who did leave a like in the last episode. That was absolutely fantastic. Seems like people are really excited to be back over in these areas and revisiting some old builds. Today, however, we're going to be taking a look over at Castle Bleakrock because I think that needs a little bit of updating. After we changed the diorite in our last texture pack update, well, it looks a little off right now, so I think I want to finish and fix up the gradient for that build. But before we get over there, a few things people pointed out to me is that this city here, we haven't really updated any of the trapdoors or anything like these ones to being over to the spruce trapdoors, because originally oak trapdoors in my texture pack were like a solid one until we got the rest of them introduced later on, and a lot of people were saying that we might want to replace the wood in our roadway here with some spruce wood as well. I kind of like this with the oak wood, but I'm gonna mess around with adding some things around the place and mixing up these into being some spruce trapdoors. Papyrus has been spruce trapdoorified and it's looking pretty fantastic. I end up changing out almost every single thing on the top of that building, and I really like it. I added a few walls and fences on top to make it a little bit spikier on those corners. I think that actually helps sell it pretty well. And then I came through and added a few spots like this little bridge over here. I turned it completely into a spruce bridge instead of having the oak, and I kind of like it. Then I decided, because I was working on this bridge here, I was looking down, I was like, that looks pretty sad. And I'd actually been reading comments again recently, just because, you know, I love hearing all the feedback from everybody on this one. And somebody was saying that, hey, you haven't adjusted the rivers at all since Minecraft 1.13 dropped, well, even probably far before that, out in Papyrus, so you don't have seagrass or anything throughout there, and it doesn't feel very Nile River atmosphere-ish. So I came through here, brought in a bunch of granite, and created a few little rock structures like these guys around here, and just bone mealed the heck out of this area, because I figured it's going to be super lush, so it's okay if we just fill it absolutely everywhere with bone meal, and get a bunch of that stuff around it. I've purposely left this area empty for now, so I kind of brought it up to there, left this empty, and then picked it up moving out onto this side again, because, you know, well, this side we got to keep working on that one. That's pretty cool, or that's good over here, but I kind of want to redo this central area. I like the shape that we have for it so far, but I think we can add a little bit extra life to it. Like, I think we can make this a little bit better than it is. But anyways, with that, I'm gonna go get a bunch of diorite, a bunch of andesite, a bunch of stone, and a bit of cobblestone ready. And we're going to need a lot more scaffolding than just that one. Let's head over to Castle Bleakrock. For those who have not been here before, welcome to Castle Bleakrock. This is the very first castle that I built in this entire world. It's one of my favorite builds I have ever done, and it's very cool, except recently I've kind of changed the style and how I build things. More so how I texture things. And this one is starting to feel a little spammy to me. Seeing how we have the cobblestone going all the way up to the very tippy top there, it just is a little too rough for me. And what I want to do is I want to work with more of a gradient. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be transforming this into a little bit more of a gradient we can use a few different blocks in here. I can show you all a quick example of what I'm thinking. And recently in the last texture pack update that came out in the very last video that we did here, I showed you all that I have a new way of how we can get the original diorite inside of our Minecraft worlds. So, darkest block we have, probably that one. Next ones we have is we have the andesite and the stone. I think technically andesite is probably actually brighter than the stone now. It used to not be that case. But so I'm thinking we do something like that, and then we start stretching it up with these. And then when we get towards the very top, we start adding in a little bit of this classic diorite texture. So we're going to be working from like this cobblestone base here, having a little bit of cobblestone around the bottom, moving into some stone and andesite, probably about a 50-50 mix. And then those are slowly going to dissipate into having a lot more of this stuff in here. And slowly that is going to dissipate into having our plain old diorite. I think from a distance, that's going to look super cool and beat the heck out of the spammy look that we have right now. But I think the best way we can do this one is through the form of a good old-fashioned time-lapse. So let's get that rolling. I think with the update, we were able to manage off of that one. This castle back here is looking pretty freaking fantastic. And of course, it starts raining as soon as I start recording this. All right, much better. Rain's over. Let's take a little bit of a fly around here. I thought it'd be kind of cool to be able to step into our camera account and just fly around this one and revisit what we just were able to accomplish here. As you saw throughout the time lapse of looking at all these different areas, I didn't include quite every single bit of it because, you know, I felt like that'd be a little redundant. And I want to quickly jump back in here and say that most of what I was doing here was actually taking the cobblestone and just dragging it down towards the bottom and taking the diorite and pushing it back up to the top so we get those clearer, cleaner colors, and adding in those double slabs, which is the basically default diorite texture in here. I think it turned out really, really well with having all this detail in the top of it and just so much different variety to it, especially when we look at it from very, very far away. So if we take ourselves way out here, you kind of lose the little bit of a gross bits to the diorite itself, and you can really see everything starting to come in through here and have that strong gradient to it, which is exactly what I was going for here. Back here in first person mode, it's been quite a while. We've done some streaming stuff and I managed to die, so that was super awesome, but I have not shown the castle off yet to everybody else, so you'll be the first people to see it, which is pretty cool. What we're going to be moving on into next, however, is I've been really wanting to expand the farming bits that we have around here. You can see I have a bunch of wheat seeds in my inventory, and this little bit over here was always smoothed out, flattened out, and ready to go with a bunch of fields like what we have here, and probably one that's more bordered in with the with the stone wall like we had there. I meant to land on top of that tree, but it didn't work out too well. So what I was thinking is we could come over to this side of the inn and probably just loosely plan out a road. I think we're going to get a road that, let's have it come like right here, and we'll have it go in between these two trees because I think that could be pretty cool. And we can have it come in all the way back out over here and curve a little bit to coming to something where we might add in another 2 or 3 little houses right over here in today's episode. But we can do that one. And then I was thinking we probably want to give it a few blocks of space, and then we can start our wall. So just bringing it around something like this. I make these very randomized and just kind of broken down, and then we're just going to stack it up kind of like what we have with those fallen stone cobblestone walls over there. But we can just do something right in here and then have like this be the entrance to the field. Then I like to skip over 2 to 3 blocks, move it at slightly an angle, and we can start bringing this all the way down here. And I think we're going to have this tree. I'm going to remake it as a custom tree, but we'll leave it in the middle of the field. Overall, today's goal is kind of just to improve this area and polish it off. We're in a bit of a polishing phase for a lot of our older builds, and I'm having a great time with it. So I hope y'all are excited about it. We're going to be touching up on a lot of the old builds that we haven't looked at for quite a while. Now you are going to notice that things are a little brighter right now for the nighttime. And that is because I increased the gamma here because it sounds like it might have happened yesterday, but who knows. But it sounds like 1.16 snapshots are on their way, which means it's going to be time for us to get into the nether here pretty soon. And so I was thinking I would start learning how to play with the brighter gamma settings. So if I can upload some nether videos, which are normally very, very dark on YouTube, it might be able to be a bit brighter for you all to be able to see more about what's going on. So let me know your feedback on that. What y'all think about that one. So like that is the darkest point that we have right in there. That's like dark of dark, and then everything else kind of stays like this. Okay, the 2 fields are in place as far as the walls are, so this is kind of the general size that they're going to be filling up, which I think will be pretty good. Sorry for the Windows notification there. That was me. And now what I got to do is I got to go around and texture these things up. What we're going to do is throw in some andesite, throw in some stone, and throw in some mossy stone. And that should be pretty good. And then it's time to fill up the fields. I'm thinking this one over here is going to be wheat. And I'd wanted to do this one as like a vineyard type thing, because you'll see that we actually have a few of them, or we have one of them over here. So you can see it's really long and skinny. So I don't think it's going to work all that well. But what I want to do is that kind of dark oak vineyard thing that we have with that one. I thought that would be kind of a cool look to it. So I might end up putting a 3rd field over on this side of the road, like along the bridge. We can have a 3rd field right up here. I think that could be pretty cool. But anyways, it's time for me to detail these things out. We'll get these 2 finished up and we'll see where our resources are at for the day. I'm telling you, having a shulker box that literally has every block in it. We got all the flowers here mostly. We got a bunch of bone blocks here for bone meal. We got a bunch of ferns and grass and everything, all our farming things. And over here we have the tree box, which is awesome because we're going to be using all of those. I want to be building up some of these guys as custom trees. Honestly, I might bring in some shears and get these leaves back because we're a little low on it right now. But before we do that, what I would like to do is on the outside of these is I like to bring in some ferns, bring in some peonies here, and just get some like taller flowers poking over the edge, because I think it helps to bring a lot in and just get a lot more color and life in here. And you can see I use some lilacs back in there for that little bit of the inside of this like inn almost, I believe it was supposed to be. But let's just do this and get some bone meal down here. If we get the few little yellow flowers, that's totally fine with me, but most of these ferns we're going to be bone mealing up to get the double tall ones, so that they show up a little bit more than not. But we can try to kind of run around and do this on all different sides. Looks a lot more boring out here without having those two trees in the mix, so I think we definitely need to get those in here. I'm also thinking this open area that I have right up here. Also, I tamed a donkey through a saddle and a chest on him, so he's going to wander for the rest of his days. Let me know if you have a name idea for the donkey. But anyways, I'm thinking this area right here, just turning it into a bunch of bushes and grassy things like what we did back here way long ago. I think it'd be kind of cool to have a bit more of a open natural field aspect instead of filling it with some man-made thing. So I think that open area that we're going to have in here is probably all going to be filled with that kind of stuff. And I think it'd be pretty cool to have that third field over here as well. So I'm kind of working towards that. Can we please fly? But it's pretty dang awesome what we're getting so far. We're filling up this space very, very well. I want to throw those two houses out here, and I'm so tempted to throw something out on this side today, but that's probably a little too much stuff going on with it, at least for today's episode. So maybe we might come back out here in the next little bit and do this one, but it's time for me to get these custom trees built up. I'll build up the trunks on both sides, show those to you all, and then I'll add a bunch of leaves on top. All right, here we go. We got all of these in as far as the tree stumps are going. I brought this one forward a little bit, so they weren't exactly even. I think I might be adding a little bit of a guy right there too. But what I'm going to do for these is I just got a bunch of oak leaves from chopping down the other ones and all that good stuff. And I'm going to be adding in some jungle leaves mixed in there as well. And what I like to do, I'll show you just this one example here, is I like to have a bit of air inside of these. So we can do something like this. And then maybe we just jump ourselves up on the scaffolding here a bit. And what I like to do is make sure that the top bits of these, so the top bits of the fences are covered. But outside of that, it really doesn't matter where these leaves go. Just try and leave some airy gaps so you can see the sky from underneath the tree in most places, and you don't want to have just a straight line like this. So maybe we go ahead and just bring one of these out here as well. I know this is coming down pretty low to the ground on that side, but that should be totally fine. And then we just leave that. That's the whole section for that one right there. That's all we needed to do. We don't need to fill these in too much all over the place. It's okay if they aren't fully filled in. What I'm trying to do here is each branch that we have coming out, I'm trying to make it look like there's an individual leaf on it. So it's not just like this one big tree, but when we start going off of each branch and think of them as like a large leaf almost, you'll see that we get a cool tree shape that starts to come together as you start filling out the individual segments for them. And that's when we can get something really, really cool in here. So we do something like that guy. And then maybe we bring this out to right there. And what do we want to do? We need to get a little bit more over on this side here too. Maybe we can do like this. And then do one like right down there. And maybe we'll actually just extend you down one and then do something right over there. And sure, we can fill that in. I don't really like that. So something like that is probably more or less what I'm going for here. I'll get the rest of these ones on and I'll be back with y'all. Also for this, what I'm going to do is build it all with oak leaves and then come back and dot a few of our lovely jungle leaves, wherever the heck those are. Just get a little bit of a variety in the green color. I might be in a spot where I have to head back over and repair up this hoe or actually build a new one. But our second tree is now in and it's looking pretty freaking fantastic. And one thing that I want to offer, tree building tip. Just build your tree. There's no one right way to how to build trees. Both of these I just freehanded. They're totally different from each other. General practice I use is you walk under the tree. Can you still see some of the air through your tree? That's a very good thing. Go look at trees outside in the real life. I know it's scary out there, but it's okay to go look outside from your window. Look at a tree. You can see airy bits throughout the tree. You can see the sky through your tree. Don't just stack the leaves like how the notch trees, the original Minecraft trees are built. Like you can't see anything through those and it doesn't look that great. Make it fluffy, make it airy, like a good cake, like a good sponge cake. I think that's what you're supposed to do for cakes, right? But anyways, you can see both these had this very similar root structures and they grew out in totally different ways. This one's kind of bulky on top and then comes out at the sides with a little bit of a skirt, whereas this one's more of a big old blob. The shape really doesn't matter, just have fun with it. Anyways, it's time for me to end the rant and plant some things like this down. And now like this, and very, very slowly, this wheat will grow, even though this land is not saturated. Tell people that every time. Nobody believes me. Try it yourselves. You'll find it out. This is the second time this has happened. I need to fix this dropper. Somehow, I keep jumping down here because I was like, oh, I need to go get a new diamond hoe. And wait, I need to go get some diamonds. So it's time to go back through the nether. And I keep falling down this dang thing. I'm in a weird mood today anyway, so I'm a little accusatory or intense. I'm sorry about that. But I've fallen down this twice now. I've died twice. Used to be able to just do this. I think I'm going to die again. Nope, we survived that time. But I used to just do that constantly, and it was totally fine and never had a problem with it. And now we're down here, and there's a big slime chasing me. No, you hurt too much. Mr. Slime, please. Please. Not today, Mr. Slime. No. Sword! Get the sword! Okay, now we're good. Oh, he got me again. Alright, now we are totally safe. Those little guys can't get us. There's that big guy over there. We've cleared out a lot of space down here. It's been a long time since I've been down in this spot. To at least stop it from fully killing myself, I can at least get some sort of a dropper so it slows me down there. Alright, time to actually get back to what I was doing. Our fields are planted in, and I moved our shulker box mess back into my ender chest, and I've been starting working on this little area out here. What I just wanted to throw in 2 little houses, I'm thinking, is going to be a good way to do it, and then we can throw in a really, really tiny little well right in here, and I think that'll be pretty good. And then I was thinking back in this space, we can have a little bit of like a wooden lean-to, just something that kind of fills up this little area here. But anyways, what I've been doing on the house designs over here is I kind of have 2 different styles. We have our fishing village that has these very much wooden accents to it. And then we have what I was referring to as the ancient people who's lived here for a long time, basically before the castle came in. And they're still allowed to live here, and they basically just tend to all the fields. They take care of everything out here, and that's kind of what they do. So I use a lot of just stone houses for their stuff. So kind of what I do in here is take this, and we're going to do a slab right there, get ourselves back up here and do another slab. And then at this point we can raise this up a block, and then I do a slab on both corners, raise it up another block, and we can do actually I'm going to go up 2 blocks here, and we can do a slab, and then in the middle we bring it up another block, or 2 blocks and a slab. And that makes us have a pretty big like peaked roof area. And we got a small little window down here that I might actually raise up to being that next 1 block taller. So it's just kind of like shining down into the area instead of at eye level. And basically the wooden or the stone sides come up on both ends, and we fill in the middle with like a wooden roof of sorts, just to have a little bit more strength behind it and everything. So I'm gonna get these ones in. I'll get this area furnished out, and I'll show you all what it is. All right, folks, we are back, and I added in those 2 little houses over here, added the roof on top of them, and just threw some torches inside. It's a very great interior. They live simply out here. We got this nice little well in the middle with some water at the bottom of it. Don't send Lassie down there. Then we've got a nice little house over here too, and then this little bit of a shed storing some firewood that they might be using from, I don't know, maybe the trees that we chopped down. But anyways, I think that's gonna have to do it for today's episode. I haven't edited up too much of it, but we've done a lot. We've done a heck of a lot of work. And you know, while we're out here, I think I'm going to have to AFK for a little while to make sure all this wheat grows up to get that nice pretty thumbnail. But we can start that process here with our comment or question of the day. This one is coming in from Noah, and they're saying you should plan out the next section of the big port city. This is something that I wanted to touch on because I mentioned it a few times in streams and all of that, and I'm taking a bit of a break from the port city here for the next little while, everybody. I was doing too much. That one was just, there's too much going on with it. The project is so big that I need to take it in stages in order to complete that one. Otherwise, I'm going to get seriously burnt out on it. I was already starting to feel a little burnt out. And I know a lot of people are very excited about seeing that one, but I need to take a break from this thing. Because this entire area that has no trees on it, like all of that, and even moving into where that dark oak forest is, that's all meant to be chopped down to build more city area. And we already have a lot of stuff going on with it. I just wanted to fly over here and show you all this one. So I know a lot of people are really attached to this one, but for my own mental health here, I need to take a quick break from this city here. So I'm going to give it a few months before I come back to it, because we worked on it for a solid 5-6 months, which was really fun. But I want to spend more time just building different things around the world and expanding as a builder. and growing and building in new styles and all that stuff, because I think that's going to be more fun and give you all a bit of a taste of what else you can achieve, because I know this is a very cool project that we have here. I absolutely love it. I don't hate it at all, and the least slightest bit of anything like that. I really enjoyed working on the project, but I could feel myself not wanting to get on Minecraft for the day and build things here when we were doing the last few episodes on it. And right when I stopped working at this project, I instantly started loving working inside of this world again. So we're taking a bit of a break from it. I hope y'all are okay with that one. We'll be back here as soon as I'm feeling ready to tackle this one. That might be after we do the custom islands. We could come back here for a little bit, but no promises on that. I promise we will come back eventually, but I don't have that date yet in mind. But anyways, everybody, please be sure to hit that like button down below if you did enjoy going back over to Castle Blakerock. Working on that one a little bit today. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're brand new, and I will catch you on the flip side.